release of the batch into the market. So they will quality departments test the medicines at various stages of the manufacturing, and also review the critical parts during the course of a batch release, like what is the dispensing date and what is the shelf life of this, what is the manufacturing date and shelf expiry date of this medicine. So they will counter verify at each stage of the manufacturing. So like it is a doer and checker system. So we know that it is a doer and checker, right? So production department is a doer department, and quality is the checker. And even in some other industries, so production itself, they will they will make sure that the checker also from the production department itself in some industries. Okay, so this is how the counter verification exists in the system. So starting from the dispensing activity, like dispensing of the required quantities to manufacture the drug product, to the release of the batch into the market. So what exactly quality also do it? Suppose if a analysis has been um, uh, stopped during the course of a HPLC system. So there is a breakdown into the HPLC system, for example. So due to that, so our analysis got impacted, and our results also not meeting to the acceptance criteria. So for example, ASTRAE is the acceptance criteria, which is in a range between 95 to 105%. And during the course of our analysis, so ASTRAE has got to the 108%, which is more than the acceptance criteria. So ideally we should not distribute this medicine or distribute this batch into the market. Okay. So what exactly the QC does in that case? So they will initiate a deviation or incident as per the quality management system. So they will investigate why the results are triggering to a 108%, if it is if our acceptance criteria is ranging in between 95 to 105%. So they will investigate, and subsequently if there is a no failure that was observed during the course of testing, they will extend this investigation to the manufacturing, indicating that there is no failure from our end. So you please do the investigation from the production end, what went wrong during the course of a manufacturing. So they will quality departments whole investigate the quality QC department investigation and also the production investigation, and take the decision whether this batch, whatever the result which is getting to a 108%, whether can we release the batch into the market or not, because it is more than the acceptance criteria. Ideally we should not release the batch, but upon the investigation, what we came to know that there is a breakdown in the HPLC. Due to that, the results gone wrong into the system and leading to a failure. So again, basis to the quality decision, so it will be referring to a retesting of the product, basis to the, since it is proved as a analyst error, or the laboratory error during the course of a, or instrument error which was happened during the course of the investigation. So there is a quality management system which drives the quality of the product, and this quality management system is the basis to take the decision on the any single batch that will be manufactured as per the SOPs, which is the basis for the manufacturing of the drug product. And what exactly quality does, apart from the governing the SOPs or monitoring during the course of a product manufacturing, so quality department also represents the GMP inspections to regulatory authorities. So during the course of, since we are being certified by the GMP from the regulatory authorities, so they will randomly verify our practices and the procedures. So how are we following to the GMP guidelines or not, which is being established as per the Schedule M. So they will randomly verify at as per the frequencies which will be established as per the guidelines, and they will verify and again give the recertification or renewal to the our manufacturing premises. So during the audits or the regulatory audits, so quality department is the front end team which will represent the agency ask, like any drug inspector has come into the manufacturing premises, so indicating that he has the right to ask the questions what exactly the failure was happened. Suppose whatever the batch which we were discussed, so drug inspector has the right so to ask the question, even though you have got the acceptance criteria as a 108%, which is a deviation from your acceptance criteria, which is 95 to 105 percentage, how your system has allowed to distribute this particular batch into the market because it will impact the patients. So quality department explains that. So though this is a 108 percentage assay, so we make sure that the investigation has done up to the mark with the indication that it is a purely a laboratory error or a instrument error which was happened, and after completion of the repeat analysis the assay was found satisfactory, which is in a range of 95 to 105 percentage. So they will verify all these reports, and then they will, if at all they have any further queries into the system, they will directly interact to the concerned personnel who are involved in these investigations also. So that is how the quality department makes sure that as a front end team to the regulatory agencies. Yeah, and coming to the last point, as we discussed earlier, so ensures the product quality at every stage of manufacturing by means of a testing or a review. So review is nothing but a doer and checker policy. So like one person will does the activity and quality team review the activity whether he has done as per the SOP instructions or not. Yeah, Jashwant, I think you have raised a hand. Hello. Yeah. Okay. So that is what about the role of quality department. It is nothing but ensuring the product manufacturing at every stage, starting from the dispensing to the batch release into the market. It's nothing. It's we may think that what exactly the quality department does. So unlike the other industries, like a not a regulatory industries, they will only verify and test the particular lots, randomly verify the particular lots and release the product into the market, like a cloth market or a rubber industry, because those are not regulatory industries. Unlike us, it is a pharma industry since we are dealing with the patients, and it is a highly regulated industry unlike the other. So after the aviation, we might have heard that aviation is the highly regulatory market or regulatory industry, aviation, because there should be a zero deviations in the aviation department also, because if there is a even the minor deviation, so there will be leading to a major accident. So like the aviation industry, so even the pharmaceutical industry also has the uh, zero tolerance. But how these deviations has to be handled through the quality management system is the utmost important in the pharmaceutical industry, since we have some quality management system into the picture, which was established and directed by the regulatory agencies, and we should follow these practices while manufacturing of the products. Praveen, please move to the next slide. Yeah. So can you please click on this link how the GMP is? Yeah. 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 Okay. Okay, Praveen. So then we'll go to the some small video. So how the GMP will help during the course of a batch manufacturing or the in the pharmaceutical industry. So because these are the nuances which has to be understand during the course of our academics, which will definitely help to understand the how the industry orientation is. Yeah, yeah. Please go to the video, Ravi. Praveen, I think audio is not there to the. Yeah. Can you please also enable it?
Of FDA regulated products has the response GMP, good manufacturing practices.
So request you to please go through the video and we'll discuss what exactly the content in the video after the
Everyone involved in
video
the manufacturing and processing of FDA regulated products has the responsibility to do their best to ensure that every product manufactured is safe, pure, effective, and of the highest possible quality. We carry out this responsibility each day by doing our job to the best of our ability and following all written procedures. GMP is government regulation which establishes minimum standards for the manufacture of our products. GMP regulations is the quality system built to protect the health and safety of our customers. There are 10 principles of GMP. First, write step-by-step operating procedures and work instructions. Second, carefully follow written procedures and instructions. In the drug industry, it is critical that good procedures are in place to ensure a controlled and consistent performance. Procedures should be clear, concise, and logical. Taking shortcuts may save time or make the task easier, but you should never deviate from a written procedure without the approval of supervisor or the quality department. Third, promptly and accurately document your work for compliance and traceability. Fourth, by validating our work, we are actively proving that our system is doing what it was designed to do. To prove that our equipment and processes consistently do what they are supposed to do, testing and documentation is required. Consistent performance is the key to maintaining the safety and effectiveness of every product and enhance a company's reputation for quality and reliability. New facility and equipment as well as significant changes to existing systems require validation. All validation activities should be well planned and clearly defined. We achieve this by correctly following written procedures and properly maintaining and calibrating equipment. Fifth, develop a good design for the facility and the equipment from the beginning. Sixth, properly maintain the facility and the equipment. A logical and well-planned layout will improve productivity. Sometimes, you need to step back and reconsider the whole production area rather than applying a quick fix solution. It's important to control the following so that it does not impact product quality. Air, water, lighting, ventilation, and temperature are the main factors. 7. Clearly define, develop, and demonstrate job competence. Training will be provided for all employees whose activities could affect the quality of the product. This includes basic training on the theory and practices of the GMP. Companies need people who know how to do their job right and for the first time, every time. Eighth, protect our product against contamination by practicing good hygiene. The fight against contamination is a constant battle and is one that requires the attention of every single employee every day. There are three types of contamination. First, particulate. A product has been made impure by any particle that does not belong in it. Dust, dirt, lint, fiber, and hair must be properly dressed to prevent contamination of materials, components, and products. Second, microbial. Microorganisms are living organisms that exist on everything in the environment that has not been sterilized, such as fungus, mold, bacterial, and viruses. Third, cross-contamination. When traces of other materials, components, and products adulterate or misbrand the product. Ninth, design quality into product. Every step in the product life cycle requires effective controls to assure product quality. For example, check all the material and components when they enter premises to ensure they meet the defined specification, segregated, sampled, tested, and approved prior to release for manufacturing. Check all records and procedures are valid on the day of execution and ensuring employees are trained to perform the same job every time as per written procedures. Control over packaging and labeling areas to avoid mix-ups and errors. 10th, perform regular audits. Conduct planned and periodic audit to assess whether you are following GMP rules. External bodies such as FDA also conduct these audits, but self-inspection or in-house audits should be conducted to ensure GMP compliance.
Yeah, so I hope you have followed the video. So it is a video governing the 10 principles of GMP. So just now, before the video, we have discussed that it is not about the testing of the, it is not about the only the testing of the quality department. So it also the ensures the product quality at every stage of the manufacturing. And these are the 10 principles which drives the quality department to ensure the adequate quality of the products are being manufactured and followed by the release of the products into the market. Yeah, Praveen, please go to the next step. Yeah. So any doubts till now, whatever the discussions which we have discussed on the quality part. So I hope it is not boring session. So just we have only discussed the GMP part. So we need to understand that quality is not only the testing part. So it is the ensuring the product quality at every stage of the manufacturing by applying the 10 principles of GMP. So you can, if you have the time, you can go through the video again and again. So you can understand that what are the basic principles of GMP, how these principles are helping to the pharmaceutical industry, so to manufacture the products which is of a utmost quality, and how the quality management system helps or drives the practice these principles into the pharmaceutical industry. So moving to the regulatory affairs. So till now we have gone through the GMP part and what exactly the role of quality in the pharmaceutical industry. What exactly does the regulatory affairs department? So if you hear the terminology itself, regulatory affairs. So regulatory is nothing but a regulatory agencies. So affair indicates that. So we need to have the liaison between the regulatory agencies and the pharmaceutical industry through the regulatory authorities. So that means in order to get approve our product, or in order to export our product into the US or Japan or whichever the country it is, first of all, what we have to do, we need to register our product in the with the particular agency. Suppose if we see that majority of our pharma industry exports the medicines into US market. So US, the regulatory agency for US is FDA, US FDA. So like just like the CDSCO agency. So even for domestic market, we also submit the required documentation to CDSCO seeking the approval of the product, and then only we are authorized to distribute our product into the market. And without that, it is a violation from the GMP guidelines. And if you see that majority of the news, also if you see that some products are during the drug inspector verifications into the pharmacies or the industries. So without the GMP certifications also, they manufacture the medicines, which is a violation to the Schedule M practices. So before we are exporting or distribution of our product into the domestic market, we need to get the approval to the regulatory agencies, and then we are authorized, legally authorized to distribute the products into the particular market. So what exactly the regulatory affairs do? So they take the required documentation. So starting from the drug development to the uh, drug manufacturing. So the required, because if you see the recent guidelines, if you see the ICH guidelines, whenever you have the time, request you to please go through the ICH guidelines, which is the vast topic, which is a vast multidisciplinary topics in the ICH guidelines are there. So you can understand that what are the technical requirements which are required to register the drug product into the regulatory agencies. So as per the regulatory guidelines, so we need to submit the required documentation to in order to get the approval. Then we are authorized to manufacture the medicine and then distribution. So once we get the approval, so we can import or we can export the medicines, and we are legally authorized to distribute the medicines. Suppose during the course of your product manufacturing, suppose if we have started a manufacturing of the product from 2020 as a part of quality improvement initiative, so we are doing some changes into the product which will enhance my quality attributes like the dissolution or disintegration or whichever the quality attribute it is. So we would like to improve that quality attribute by means of changing the some manufacturing process. So it is not like that easy. So just like the other non-regulatory industries, so just like whatever we discussed, that rubber industry or a textile industry, so it is not a regulatory industry. So they have some internal standards by which they will only do the changes. But in order to do some change in the manufacturing process, which is already registered to the regulatory agencies, so we need to seek the approval from the particular regulatory agency. So indicating that we are doing some manufacturing process change. So due to the, in order to improve the quality attribute, and then regulatory agencies will verify the nature of the change, or accordingly they will give the uh, product approval. So it is not only the one time work to the regulatory affairs department, and whatever the changes that will be done for the product during the life cycle management. Life cycle management is nothing but once we get the approval, the entire product life cycle. Suppose the product is, if you see that paracetamol, for example. So paracetamol exists from the 1950s. Okay, so starting from the introduction of the product to the till date, like there are some multiple changes which was done in the paracetamol also to improve the some quality attributes from the from uh, respective companies. So they will do the changes, but they will inform to the agency, so indicating that we are doing some change. as a part of the quality improvement initiatives. And in order to improve that, we are doing this change, and they will submit the required documentation to regulatory agencies, CDSCO or USFDA, to get the approval. And then only they will implement if it is a major change. If it is a minor change, we can implement the change and then inform to agencies at later point of time as per the defined frequencies. So this is all about a regulatory affairs department in brief in the pharmaceutical industry, how it works. So in a nutshell, it helps with respect to the product approvals, and also during the course of a product life cycle management. So whatever the changes that we'll be doing as a part of quality improvement initiatives, or whatever the as a part of the cost improvement initiative also. So suppose paracetamol in the earlier eras, it is costing around, a tablet is costing a 5 rupees or 6 rupees. If you see the current paracetamol tablet rate in the pharmacies, now it is getting a 1 rupee. What was the factor which is getting the paracetamol tablet to a 1 rupee? Earlier it was a 5 rupee, and now it is a 1 rupee. What exactly because they have done some changes which will help the patients to make it as a affordable. Like they will, earlier the packing material or the API cost was too high. Now, as a part of affordable medicines, which has to be reached to the every patient. So every industry is doing some cost improvement also. Even these kind of cost improvement changes also has to be acknowledged to the regulatory agencies, and then it can be implemented as per the nature of the change. If it is a major change, if the agency feel that if at all we are changing a primary packing material, like if you see the tablet, paracetamol tablet, it is available in the form of blister. So earlier, the majority of the tablets are available in the form of alu blister, like it is a non-transparent blisters. So majority of you also notice that some earlier majority of the medicines are available in the alu blister, like it is a non-transparent form of the medicine. Now majority of the products are shifting to a alu PVC. So alu PVC is nothing but a aluminum and PVC, which is a polymers. So to make the patients affordable, because alu is a most costliest materials. So due to that, so patients cannot afford to take or buy the medicines. So now what the industries are doing, so in order to get the patients affordability, so they are doing the changes. So accordingly, so the cost of the product has been drastically changed from 5 rupees to 1 rupees. If you see that, if you see that recently the generic medicine pharmacies are also exist in place now. So generic is nothing but without a trade name or a brand name. So this helps to reduce the overall tax of the product, which is helping us to get the affordability of affordable medicines. So if you see that generic medicines are rapidly increasing in our state in Nellore also. If you see that these are subsidized medicines, which are even the government is also giving the subsidies. If at all we are we are going to open some pharmacy, generic medicine pharmacy. So government is also giving some subsidies by which we are selling the medicines, to affordable medicines to the patients without having a trade name or a brand name. Because if brand name is there, suppose if it is a trade name or brand name, so automatically it cost to the overall medicine. Like since it is it enhances the tax into the product. The brand name or the trade name enhances the tax into the overall cost of the product, and hence government is encouraging to buy the generic medicines, which is very affordable to the common man. So this is how the role of regulatory industry helping from the product approval and followed by the product life cycle management, which is also helping to the quality improvement initiatives and also the cost improvement initiatives. And thirdly, what exactly the IP team does in the pharmaceutical industry. So I am not going into the detail into the IP part. So since IP is nothing but, I hope you know that intellectual property management, IPM is the intellectual property management. So what exactly they does? So pharmaceutical industry has many divisions like R&D and also the generic markets introduction into the respective markets. So they protect the um, research work whatever they have done by the scientist, and also so some patents are valid or still carried out by the innovators. So you know the innovators and the generics, right? So if you see the US and or China, so majority of the products are innovator drugs, which is highly costly in the market. So what also IP team does, apart from the protection of the research work, apart from the protection of research work, they also does that when this product patent expires. So they will track the product patents. So after the product patent, suppose if your product has a product as a patent up to 2025 December. So before the 3 years or 4 years, so they inform to the their management indicating that these are the uh, products or drugs for which product patents are going to expire in the December 25. In they will inform to management in the 2021 year itself. So accordingly, management select the products which is by which they will work and which will they can introduce the product into the market by doing a generic formulation instead of the branded one. So which is a cost effective to the patients. And most of our whatever the export medicines which our pharma industries are exporting to the Asian the countries are the generic medicines. It's not the branded one, because branded can be carried by the innovators. So and we are marketing through the trade names in the respective market. So in order to improve the sales or the improve the product sales. So this is how a brief introduction on the IP department. So they help to protect the research work what the industry does, and also the uh, and also helps the pharmaceutical industry so to launch the generic medicines soon after the patent expiries. So I'm not telling the much deeper into the IP part. So this is all about the QA, RA, and IP department role in the pharmaceutical industry. So if you have any questions, you are free to ask. So Praveen, so with this, we can conclude the overall subject. A brief introduction on the uh, QA department, RA, and IP department in the pharmaceutical industry. So even Telugu is also comfortable. Telugu we can తెలుగులో అయినా మాట్లాడండి పర్లేదు.
Sir, sir, sir. Sir, ఇండస్ట్రీలో క్వాలిటీ అసూరెన్స్ లో
యా చెప్పండి వెంకటేష్.
ప్రతి ఒక్క ఎక్విప్మెంట్ కి ఒక స్టాండర్డ్ ఆపరేషన్ ఎస్ఓపి ఉంటుంది కదా సార్.
అవును వెంకటేష్.
హౌ ద ప్రాసెస్ విల్ ప్రొసీడ్ సార్?
So if you see the GMP principles, which we have gone through the video. So SOP ante it is a sequence of activities. So which will gives the details or the navigation how this equipment has to be operated. So it is a sequential activity also narrates in the particular SOP which we should follow during the course of a equipment operation. So that is the those are nothing but the GMP principles, which has to be the SOPs has to be clear and directive and navigating to the equipment operator who is running that particular equipment.
Okay, sir. Okay. Okay. SOP depends on the GMP, sir.
No, SOP, GMPs are the guidelines, Venkatesh. Okay, suppose if you see that అంటే అర్థమయ్యేలా ఎలా చెప్పాలి అంటే ఇంకా ఈజీగా ఎలా చెప్పాలని ఆలోచిస్తున్నాను. సో So from the guidelines, we make the SOPs because those are the basement for the SOPs. Those are the references in order to make the SOP.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
So even the equipment also, so equipment manufacturer కూడా మనకి మాన్యువల్ ఇస్తారు. సో ఆ మాన్యువల్ ని బేస్ చేసుకునే మనం SOP చేస్తాం. సో సిమిలర్ టు దట్ క్వాలిటీ గైడ్ లైన్స్ వచ్చేసరికి సపోజ్ మార్కెట్ కంప్లైంట్ ఈస్ ద SOP విచ్ యూ నీడ్ టు ప్రిపేర్, రైట్? సో నువ్వేం చేస్తావు, CDSCO గైడ్ లైన్ ప్రకారం మార్కెట్ కంప్లైంట్ ని ఎలా హ్యాండిల్ చేయాలి అనేది ఒక గైడ్ లైన్ ఉంటుంది, CDSCO ఇష్యూడ్ బై CDSCO ఆర్ షెడ్యూల్ యాప్. సో దోస్ ఆర్ ద బేస్మెంట్. దాన్ని ఆ రిఫరెన్స్ గా తీసుకొని SOP లో ఎలాబరేట్ చేసుకోవాలి, విచ్ షుడ్ బి అండర్స్టాండబుల్ టు ఏ ఆపరేటర్ ఆల్సో. సో ఇన్ కేస్ ఆఫ్ ఎక్విప్మెంట్, manuals are the base documents. In case of a quality SOPs like a market complaint SOP or a product recall, how the product has to be recalled from the market. సో ఇప్పుడు మనం చూస్తూనే ఉంటాం, సో ఒక కార్ల కంపెనీ ఇప్పుడు కొన్ని కార్లను రీకాల్ చేసింది అంటారు. సో అలానే ఫార్మా ఇండస్ట్రీలో కూడా మనం కొన్ని రీకాల్ చేయడానికి ఒక గైడ్ లైన్స్ ఉంటాయి. సో విచ్ ఈస్ మెన్షన్డ్ ఇన్ ద షెడ్యూల్ యాప్. సో ఆ షెడ్యూల్ ని బేస్ చేసుకొని మనం SOPs ని ఎలాబరేట్ చేసుకుంటాం. ఇంకా ఓకే 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 షూర్ ప్రవీణ్. సో ఇన్ కేస్ ఆఫ్ ఇండియాకి వచ్చేసరికి, సో మనం ఇందాక ఏదైతే చెప్పుకున్నామో CDSCO ఈస్ ద సెంట్రల్ డ్రగ్ స్టాండర్డ్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ ఏజెన్సీ, సో విచ్ ఈస్ బేస్డ్ ఎట్ ఢిల్లీ. సో ఢిల్లీ నుంచి ఎవ్రీ స్టేట్ కి DCAs ఉంటాయి, సో డ్రగ్ కంట్రోల్ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్స్. ఓకే, సో డైరెక్షన్స్ CDSCO will give the directions to the respective state drug control agencies. Okay, if there is any amendment to the schedule M, so what they do, so they will give the directions to the respective states drug control authorities indicating that we have made some changes in the schedule M. You please ensure that, so every industry or every pharmacy who is dispensing the medicines has to follow these procedures. సో ఇండియాకి వచ్చేసరికి CDSCO అండ్ DCA, అలానే యుఎస్కి వచ్చేసరికి US FDA ఫుడ్ అండ్ డ్రగ్ అడ్మినిస్ట్రేషన్. సో అలానే బ్రెజిల్కి వచ్చేసరికి అన్వీసా. సో యూ కెన్ గూగుల్ ద రెగ్యులేటరీ ఏజెన్సీస్ ఇన్ ద గూగుల్ ఆల్సో. సో దెర్ విల్ బి ఏ లిస్ట్ ఆఫ్ guidelines because every country if it is a smaller country, ministry MOH usually deals the medicines registration. MOH is nothing but a Ministry of Health, even in the India. So we have the MOH which is governs the CDSCO, so to regulate the procedures and practices for a pharmaceutical industry or a pharmacies with respect to the manufacturing and also to the how to dispense the medicines to the agency. So in case of India, so we have every drug is a OTC drug, okay, over the counter drug. So in case of US, it is not easy to get a medicine which is a, suppose if you see that if you buy a medicine, so మన దగ్గర ఏమన్నా మెడిసిన్స్ కొన్నాం అనుకోండి, షెడ్యూల్ హెచ్ డ్రగ్, it has to be dispensed by the రిజిస్టర్డ్ మెడికల్ ప్రాక్టీషనర్ ఓన్లీ అని ఉంటుంది. సో బట్ ఎక్కడన్నా ఫాలో అవుతున్నామా మనం ఇండియాలో? సో in India, when it comes to India, every drug is a OTC drug. OTC is nothing but a over the counter drug which does not need any prescription. సపోజ్ మనకి ఏమన్నా థ్రోట్ ఇన్ఫెక్షన్ ఉంది, సో వెంటనే మనం వెళ్ళి ఫార్మసీకి వెళ్తాం, మనకు నియర్ బై ఫార్మసీకి వెళ్ళి, సో అన్న నాకు రాత్రి నుంచి ఇన్ఫెక్షన్ బాగా పెయిన్ గా ఉంది, మెడిసిన్ ఇవ్వాలి అంటే, సో యుఎస్ లో యూరోప్ లో అలా మెడిసిన్స్ ఇవ్వరు అనమాట. సో ఫస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఆల్ వీ నీడ్ టు కన్సల్ట్ ద డాక్టర్. So through the prescription, we are authorized to take the antibiotics. But in India, so unfortunately, every drug is a OTC drug in India. So except the Schedule X drugs. So like codeine, ఎక్కడైతే ఉంటుందో, నార్కోటిక్స్ ఎక్కడైతే ఉంటాయో, ఆ ఒక్కటి మాత్రమే చాలా స్ట్రిక్ట్ గా ఇండియాలో మనకి రెగ్యులేట్ చేస్తారనమాట. సో ఈవెన్ ద షెడ్యూల్ హెచ్ డ్రగ్ కానీ ఎక్కడ కూడా రెగ్యులేషన్స్ ఉండవు మనకి. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ ఆథరైజ్డ్ టు, ఈవెన్ మనం వెళ్ళి యాంటీబయాటిక్ ఏ యాంటీబయాటిక్ కావాలన్నా ఏ ఫార్మసీలో అయినా ఇస్తారు. ఎందుకంటే వీఆర్ నాట్, బికాస్ ఇట్ ఈస్ నాట్, వీఆర్ నాట్ ఫాలోయింగ్ ద గైడ్ లైన్స్ వెరీ స్ట్రిక్ట్లీ ఇన్ కేస్ ఆఫ్ ఏ షెడ్యూల్ హెచ్ డ్రగ్, బట్ వీఆర్ ఫాలోయింగ్ ద గైడ్ లైన్స్ స్ట్రిక్ట్లీ ఇన్ కేస్ ఆఫ్ ఏ షెడ్యూల్ ఎక్స్ డ్రగ్స్ విచ్ ఈస్ ఏ నార్కోటిక్ డ్రగ్స్. యా ప్రవీణ్ ప్లీజ్. So which is a difficult question, Praveen. So in not only in the pharma industry, so we need to cope up with the కరెంట్ ప్రాక్టీసెస్. సో అంటే ఇప్పుడు దాకా మనం జిఎంపీ అని మెన్షన్ చేసుకున్నాం కానీ, సో ఐడియల్లీ వీ షుడ్ నాట్ సే ఇట్ ఈస్ ఎ జిఎంపీ, వీ షుడ్ కాల్ ఇట్ యాజ్ ఎ సిజిఎంపీ. సో వీ షుడ్ బి ఆల్వేస్ ఇన్ లైన్ విత్ ద ట్రెండ్, కరెంట్ ట్రెండ్. సో సపోజ్ ఇన్ ద అంటే మనం బీఫార్మసీ చదివినప్పుడు 2008 అప్పుడు కంప్యూటర్ సిస్టమ్ వ్యాలిడేషన్ అనే టాపిక్ మనకి లేదు అసలు. ఇప్పుడు ఉందో కూడా లేదో కూడా నాకు తెలియదు. కంప్యూటర్ సిస్టమ్ వ్యాలిడేషన్, సో అంటే అప్పుడు మనకి ఈవెన్ వీ డోంట్ హ్యావ్ ద ఎనీ బేసిక్ ఐడియా ఆన్ ద కంప్యూటర్ సిస్టమ్ వ్యాలిడేషన్. వాట్ ఈస్ ద రోల్ ఆఫ్ ఏ కంప్యూటర్ సిస్టమ్ వ్యాలిడేషన్ ఇన్ ద ఫార్మా ఇండస్ట్రీ? ఇఫ్ యూ సీ నౌ, ఇఫ్ యూ ఆర్ నాట్ కోప్ అప్ విత్ ద టెక్నాలజీ, it is very difficult to survive in the industry. So the textbooks only helps us to understand the principles behind the practices which are being followed in the industry. When it comes to the infrastructure, so coming to the infrastructure, so I am specifically mentioning the infrastructure which is referring to the computer systems which are using in the pharmaceutical industry. So manam repu 4 years B.Pharmacy course అయినా సరే, it is not need not to go through the join the industry. So మీకు అంటే I'm just giving the suggestion to the people, students. So you can go through the some basic applications now. So now pharma is completely going into the digitalization mode. So earlier suppose market complaint ఎలా హ్యాండిల్ చేయాలి అంటే, సో ఒక పేపర్ ఒక 10 pages డాక్యుమెంటేషన్ ఉండేది మనకి. సో నౌ there is no 10 pages documentation in the industry. So everything is a application based handling. So అంటే పీపుల్ కి ఎవరన్నా అంటే అరే మేము సాఫ్ట్వేర్ కి వెళ్ళలేకపోయాము, అన్నెసరీ ఫార్మసీకి వచ్చాము, అలాంటి ఏమన్నా థాట్స్ ఉంటే మాత్రం, సో ఈవెన్ ఇన్ ద ఫార్మా, సో ఫార్మా ఈస్ డెవలపింగ్ ఏ న్యూమరస్ అప్లికేషన్స్. ఎర్లియర్ కూడా ఒక బ్యాచ్ ప్రొడక్షన్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ చేసేటప్పుడు బ్యాచ్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ రికార్డ్ అని రాసేవాళ్ళు, ఒక 100 pages 150 pages రాసేవాళ్ళు. ఈవెన్ వెన్ ఐ స్టార్టెడ్ మై కెరియర్, వీ హ్యావ్ ఏ కంప్లీట్లీ మాన్యువల్ డాక్యుమెంటేషన్. సో ఎంత డిస్పెన్స్ చేశాడు, 10 grams డిస్పెన్స్ చేశాడా, ఓకే 10 grams డిస్పెన్స్ చేసిన అతను QA అతను మళ్ళీ సైన్ చేసి కౌంటర్ వెరిఫై చేసి సైన్ చేసేవారు. So now completely those paper documentation is nowhere in the pharmaceutical industry now. So it is completely going into applications. Like there is a MES application which has come into the place in place of 100 pages of batch manufacturing record. ఎందుకంటే so the regulatory expectations are increasing day by day. So earlier when we used to manufacture the drugs, because paper documentation is always prone for the manipulation. So even the regulatory inspectors, drug inspectors ఎప్పుడు వచ్చినా సరే, they doubt how we are manufacturing the medicines. So that's why the major companies, if you see the Ranbaxy, so I request whoever the students are there, so Ranbaxy history చదవండి, the failure of Ranbaxy in the Indian industry. So what they have done, they have manipulated the US FDA agency completely. They have manipulated because they have successfully proved that whatever the manufacturing the generic drug which they are developing, సో వాళ్ళు ఏం చేశారంటే, వాళ్ళు యూఎస్కి వెళ్ళినప్పుడల్లా ఏం చేశారంటే ఇన్నోవేటివ్ డ్రగ్ శాంపిల్స్ ని కొనుక్కొని సో ఆ టాబ్లెట్స్ ని టెస్ట్ చేసి, సో ప్రూవింగ్ దట్ ద జెనరిక్ డ్రగ్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో మీటింగ్ ఆ టెస్ట్ రిజల్ట్స్ ని తీసుకొని, సో మేము చేసిన జెనరిక్ డ్రగ్ కూడా ఇదే బయో అవైలబిలిటీ ఉంది, సో యూ కెన్ గివ్ ద మెడిసిన్. ఇట్స్ కంప్లీట్లీ ఏ మ్యానిపులేషన్. Ranbaxy has done the complete manipulation, which has the US FDA has realized that. So the existing practices in the pharma industry, not only the US FDA, even the CDSCO also realized that there is much more chances to manipulate the practices in the pharma industry. ఎందుకంటే సో మ్యానిపులేషన్ అదర్ ఇండస్ట్రీస్ చేస్తే మేబీ ఇంపాక్ట్ అవ్వకపోవచ్చు. when it comes to the pharma industry, since we are dealing with the patient lives, ఓకే, సో రేపు ఆ టాబ్లెట్ తీసుకునే వాళ్ళు మన పేరెంట్స్ ఏ ఉండొచ్చు, లేదంటే మన రిలేటివ్సే ఉండొచ్చు. సో దే రియలైజ్డ్ ఇట్ అండ్ దే హ్యావ్ బీన్ డైరెక్టెడ్ టు మూవ్ టు ద మాన్యువల్ మోడ్ టు ద ఆటోమేషన్. సో ఆటోమేషన్ చేయాలంటే ఏం చేయాలి? అప్లికేషన్స్ డెవలప్ చేయాలి. సో ఇప్పుడైనా సరే ఐ రిక్వెస్ట్ ఎవరైతే స్టూడెంట్స్ ఉన్నారో, అరే మేము సాఫ్ట్వేర్లకి వెళ్ళలేకపోయాము, మేము ఫార్మసీకి అన్నెసరీగా వచ్చాము, మా ఫ్రెండ్స్ అందరూ సాఫ్ట్వేర్లు అయిపోయారు, సో ఇలాంటి ఏమన్నా ఉంటే, సో దెర్ విల్ బి సమ్ రిగ్రెట్స్ ఇన్ అవర్ లైఫ్. సో దెన్ ఐ రిక్వెస్ట్, ఎవరైతే అలాంటి రిగ్రెట్స్ ఎవరికైనా ఉంటే, మీరు ఇప్పటి నుంచే మీకు ఏఐలో పర్ప్లెక్సిటీ, మీ ఫోన్ లోనే యాప్స్ ఉంటాయి, పర్ప్లెక్సిటీ యాప్ ఉంటుంది, గ్రో యాప్ ఉంటుంది. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ ఆల్ ఆర్ ఏఐ బేస్డ్ యాప్స్. సో సపోజ్ మీరు ఎలక్ట్రానిక్ డాక్యుమెంటేషన్ ఇన్ ద ఫార్మా ఇండస్ట్రీ, జస్ట్ మీరు ఆ ఏఐ యాప్స్ లో కొట్టండి మీకు టైం ఉన్నప్పుడల్లా. సో అప్లికేషన్స్ ఏమేమి ఉన్నాయి, ఒక్కొక్క బ్యాచ్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ రికార్డ్ ఎలాంటి అప్లికేషన్స్, MES ఈస్ ద మేజర్ అప్లికేషన్ ఫర్ బ్యాచ్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ రికార్డ్. అలానే క్యూసీలో అనాలిసిస్ ఒకప్పుడు చేసేటప్పుడు ఏం చేసేవాళ్ళంటే కంప్లీట్లీ పేపర్ డాక్యుమెంటేషన్. సో నౌ అది కూడా ఏమైంది, అక్కడ కూడా లిమ్స్ అని కొంత సాఫ్ట్వేర్స్ తీసుకొచ్చేసారు. ఇప్పుడు దెర్ ఈస్ నో పేపర్ డాక్యుమెంటేషన్. అలానే ట్రైనింగ్ కూడా, ఒకప్పుడు మేము జాయిన్ అయినప్పుడు మాకు బంచ్ ఆఫ్ పేపర్స్ ఇచ్చి మీరు ట్రైనింగ్ కంప్లీట్ అయిన తర్వాత ఈ క్వశ్చనీర్ చేసేవాళ్ళని, సో జస్ట్ మేము ఆన్సర్స్ చూసి రాసేసేవాళ్ళం. ఇప్పుడు ఏం చేశారు, దానికి ఒక అప్లికేషన్ తీసుకొచ్చారు, LMS. సో నవ్వు ఇప్పుడు అలాంటి ఛాన్సే లేదు. బై డిఫాల్ట్ గా నువ్వు చదవాలి, దాన్ని ఆన్సర్ చేసి 100% 80% క్రైటీరియా మీట్ అయితేనే నీకు సర్టిఫికేట్ వస్తుంది. ఆ కంప్లీట్ సర్టిఫికేట్ వస్తుంది అనమాట. సో ఐ రిక్వెస్ట్ పీపుల్ హూ ఆర్ హ్యావింగ్ ద ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఆన్ ద డిజిటలైజేషన్ పార్ట్. సో SAP అనేది మ్యాండేటరీ ఫార్మాలో. వితౌట్ SAP ఇట్ ఈస్ నో ఫార్మా ఇండస్ట్రీ వర్క్స్. సో ఇప్పుడు నుంచే మీకు దేని మీద ఇంట్రెస్ట్, ఏ అప్లికేషన్ మీద ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అంటే బ్యాచ్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ రికార్డ్ చేసే అప్లికేషన్సా, లేదంటే QC ల్యాబొరేటరీ రిజల్ట్స్ చేసే అప్లికేషన్సా, లేదంటే SAP ఏం చేస్తుంది, మెటీరియల్ మేనేజ్మెంట్, క్వాలిటీ మేనేజ్మెంట్. సో ఇన్ని మాడ్యూల్స్ ఉంటాయి అన్నమాట SAP లో కూడా. సో మీకు ఎవరికైనా ఇంట్రెస్ట్ ఉంటే ఇప్పటి నుంచే ఈ అప్లికేషన్స్ అంటే డిజిటలైజేషన్ మీద వెళ్ళాలి అనుకుంటే, సో సార్ నాకు ఇలా బీఫార్మసీ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఏ అరవిందోనో లేదంటే ఏ హెట్రోలోనో నాయుడుపేటలో ఇక్కడ మనకి ఊరికి దగ్గర ఉంటుంది అంటే దెర్ ఆర్ 2 ways ఇన్ ద ఫార్మసీ. సో ఒకటి ట్రెడిషనల్ అప్రోచ్ లో మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ లోకి వెళ్ళిపోవడం, మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ లో క్వాలిటీలోనో లేదంటే ప్రొడక్షన్ లోనో క్వాలిటీ QC డిపార్ట్మెంట్ లోనో వర్క్ చేయడం, దిస్ ఈస్ వన్ పార్ట్. Second part is the applications. Applications are the booming in the pharma industry. You can't believe the salaries in the in the pharmacy sector. So just like the software candidates, how they are getting a salary, so we will definitely get those salaries if at all we have the real zeal to understand the pharmacy. Yeah. So, so Praveen, it is almost equivalent to the more than the pharmacy, more than the software industry. So one of my colleague who worked along with me earlier, he is having around now 14 years of experience. Now he moved into the applications part. He is earning 60 lakhs per annum. 60 lakhs per annum. సో అంటే మేము అప్పుడు తను అనుకున్నప్పుడు తను ఎందుకు ఇలా వెళ్ళిపోతున్నాడు ఈ కెరీర్ వైపు, అంటే అప్లికేషన్స్ వైపు వెళ్ళిపోతున్నాడు అని మేము అనుకునే వాళ్ళం అనమాట. అంటే మాకేంటి అంటే మేమంతా ఏంటి, ఇట్ డిపెండ్స్ అపాన్ ద మిస్టేక్స్ వీ హావ్ డన్ ఇన్ ద కెరీర్. ఓకే, we should not always think as a traditional approach. We should be go ahead in line with the current trend, which is the digitalization. So digitalization has the future in the pharma industry. So then I sincerely suggest to the students, please use the AI apps sufficiently. Perplexity is the most beautiful app which you can refer to whenever you have the time. So it is the best app. So it is a free cost. So you can go through the Play Store or the iOS app, whichever you have. So Perplexity app ki ellandi, time unnapudalla dantlo Google cheyandi. It will definitely gives the అంటే మంచి రెఫరెన్సెస్ కి రిఫర్ చేస్తుంది, మంచి వీడియోస్ ని, యూట్యూబ్ వీడియోస్ ని డైరెక్ట్ చేస్తుంది, నావిగేషన్ చాలా బాగుంటుంది. సో అందరూ నా సజెషన్ అయితే go to the digitalization mode in the pharma industry. Those who are regretting that అరే అన్నెసరీ ఫార్మా ఇండస్ట్రీకి వచ్చాను, అలాంటి రిగ్రెట్స్ ఉండద్దు. మా ఎరాలో ఉన్నాయి అవన్నీ, మేము ప్రవీణ్ చదువుకున్న ఎరాలో అలాంటి రిగ్రెట్స్ ఉన్నాయి. అరే ఫార్మా ఇండస్ట్రీకి వచ్చాము, మన శాలరీస్ ఇంతే, అలాంటి ఛాన్సే లేదు. ఇప్పుడు మనకు కూడా ఈక్వలెంట్ ఫ్యూచర్ ఉంది, అన్లైక్ జస్ట్ లైక్ ద సాఫ్ట్వేర్ ఇండస్ట్రీ. సో ఐఎమ్ సిన్సియర్లీ రిక్వెస్టింగ్ టు ద స్టూడెంట్స్, ప్లీజ్ యూస్ ద AI tools or please use the Google also. If at all you are not able to use the AI apps, please go through the Google, understand the digitalization importance in the pharma industry. Every industry is moving to the digitalization. There is no paper documentation for starting from the batch manufacturing to the batch release. There is a very minimal documentation which is being used, around 30%. I think Jashwant has raised hand. Yeah, Jashwant, చెప్పండి. చెప్పండి సార్ Jashwant.
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah.
Sir, how do patents protect in pharmaceutical inventions?
మీ వాయిస్ కట్ అవుతుంది Jashwant.
How do patents protect in pharmaceutical inventions?
Okay. So as we mentioned earlier, Jashwant, సో ఒకటి మన చేసిన రీసెర్చ్ వర్క్ ఇప్పుడు దాకా ఎక్కడా లేదు అంటే, ఇప్పుడు దాకా దాని రిజల్ట్ ఇప్పుడు దాకా ఎక్కడా లేదు అంటే, ఇట్ ఈస్ ప్యూర్లీ ఏ రిమార్కబుల్ జర్నీ వాట్ ఎవర్ వీ హ్యావ్ డన్. సో దాన్ని ఎలా ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేసుకోవాలనేది సెకండ్ పార్ట్, రైట్? సో ఒక ట్రెమెండస్ ఒక రీసెర్చ్ వర్క్ చేశారు. సో దెన్ యూ నీడ్ టు గో టు ద యువర్ రెస్పెక్టివ్, అంటే ఎవ్రీ ఫార్మా ఇండస్ట్రీలో ఆల్మోస్ట్ IPM టీమ్ ఉంటుంది. సపోజ్ నీకుండే ఓన్ ఇంట్రెస్ట్ తోనో లేదంటే మీ చేస్తున్న రీసెర్చ్ వర్క్ లోనే ఏదైనా ట్రెమెండస్ గా నువ్వు అచీవ్ చేస్తావు. సో దెన్ యూ షుడ్ రీచ్ అవుట్ టు ద IP డిపార్ట్మెంట్. ఓకే, సో దే విల్ evaluate that whether this is the first time job which we have done or not, or any other similar research work which have done by any other person. So they will first evaluate the qualification of this research work to the patent or not. Okay, basis to that evaluation, they will suggest, yes, this research work is eligible for the patent work. You can apply for a patent. Okay, so if it is a individual work, you can go to the as a individual way. If it is a organization based research work, then intellectual property department will reach out to the legal counsel also. Okay, they take the inputs of the legal counsel, and they will take the all the prerequisites clearance from them also, and then it will be submitted to the regulatory authorities to get a patent, whatever the research work which we have done. If it is organization work, they will drive IPM department works. Okay, if it is our personal work, okay, say there is a separate way which we have to be take this forward.
Sir, one more doubt, sir.
Yeah. Namaste, Harivaskar sir.
Hello, good morning, Sai Srinivas. I'm so happy to meet you here in webinar. Actually, sorry, I was in dental treatment. That's why
Okay,
I
sir.
joined lately. So really, I'm just welcome you on behalf of SASIKANTH REDDY College of Pharmacy. Yes, I talked about you with Praveen sir. Actually, Praveen is one of the integral part of our institution in all the way. One day I asked, how is your friend? He said, Praveen said to me that he's a perfect person. So I know a lot of stories about you. I heard. Very nice thing to meet you in the webinar like this. Really, Praveen is so perfect. He said you are perfect person. So in that way, we can easily come to know what caliber you are. Yes, I heard this. I watched. I heard your speech regarding. See, the topic is IP and RA. This is a very sensitive and somewhat scientific topic. But you are taken the way, this your scientific speech you are given in the highly motivational way. This really wonder, I appreciate you a lot. You
Thank
are
you, sir. Thank you.
taken nicely from the last few 10, 12 slides. At that time only I finished my dental treatment. So I
Okay.
joined. Really, I'm so wonder. You are giving a wonderful speech. Then the way you are taken your webinar is dramatically nice, so nice. So I thank you very much for these things, for giving a wonderful speech. Another one more thing. I
Thank
want
you,
to,
sir.
yes, you said you just ran back the story while you are talking. You ran back the story, just you said to my students, just you go through the ran back the stories. Really, the people nowadays very hard to see this type of things, this type of speech. See, because my students are only in third year. Now, next year only they are going to, after few months only they are going to enter in the fourth year. So they are in first year, second year, first year they are in exam, second year and third year only they are sitting, they are attending this webinar. So this type of things, it helps a lot for them. Another one more things you mentioned while you were talking that in India, except Schedule X drugs, everything we are getting in the OTC. But see, that is the sad thing in our profession because our regulatory affairs, our drug controller, they mentioned 27 to 30 drugs only for OTC drugs. Unfortunately, because of the pharmacist inability or whatever we can say, because of that only except a schedule X drugs we can get from the pharmacy. How can we correct these things? I don't know when we are going to correct these things. We don't know. That you particularly mentioned, indirectly you mentioned everything we are getting, even next day. So yes, it is a very sensitive thing. We can't. This is a live stream, no? So we can't discuss much more things about these things. Yes, indirectly you are mentioning that students you have to improve your knowledge and try to follow the ethics of our profession. So in that way, really wonder. Your speech are so dramatic. Thank you very much. You are joined here. Really, I didn't expect. because this topic is third year, how we are taking these things వాళ్ళకి అర్థం అవ్వాలి. Many మీరు నిండా ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఇచ్చేస్తుంటే they get collapsed. Uh, so
Okay, sir.
very, very sensitively you are taken, you consider all the points, I think.
Yes.
You are keeping in your mind according, because your caliber is so high, that I know. From the first slide itself that I know your caliber is something different. బట్ మన ఎదురుగుండే వాళ్ళకి అర్థం అయ్యే మారుదా మాట్లాడవాలి, మనతోడ నాలెడ్జ్ ని చూమి వాళ్ళని లేకుండా ఎదురుగుండే వాళ్ళకి అర్థం అయ్యే లెవెల్కి ఆ లెవెల్కి కరెక్టింగ్ యువర్ టేకన్ ఇన్ కరెక్ట్ మిక్సింగ్ యూ కెన్ సే. రియల్లీ వెరీ హ్యాపీ మిస్టర్ సాయి శ్రీనివాస్. whenever you
Yes,
are
sir.
coming, this is your college, whenever you are having time, please come to my college and help my students.
Sure, sir. Definitely,
Thank you.
definitely, sir. So
Thank you very much.
during
Really, I couldn't say the exact word. Really, why I'm increasing just by expand my talk. I couldn't find the exact word to praise you. That's it.
it's
Thank you
fine, sir.
very much.
It's fine, sir. During the next visit to my Nellore, so I will
Please come
definitely
to my
reach out to
college.
Praveen. Okay,
Yes.
and we'll definitely connect in person in the next meeting.
See, one more thing, you can proud about Praveen also. Praveen did a wonderful job.
I know, sir. I know. So he has
No.
been approached from since several months. So to guide our students, he has mentioned multiple times. So just like how we have struggled in our era, like we don't have any guidance.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, that is a fact. Fortunately, yes, within matter of if everything goes good within matter of 5 years, Praveen one of the best principal in JNTU, JNTUA. That I am
Definitely,
sure
sir.
that one. So thank you very much. Whenever you are coming time, just you come to my college,
Sure.
visit my college, and help the profession. Thank you,
Yeah, yeah. Sure,
Mr.
sir.
Sai Srinath.
Thank you.
Prince, sir, you
Thank you.
continue, sir. Thank you. Uh, oh, nice. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Praveen. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Praveen. Thank you, Hari sir. Thanks to
Thank you.
students also, because
Welcome. Oh.
though it is a holiday for them, so they have accommodated their busy schedule, time in their busy schedule. Thank you, students.
No, they are very enthusiastic. Really, they are getting chance like this is great, no? So all the credits goes to you only.
To Praveen sir, he has done the much background work.
No, that is not only this. Everything it is done by Praveen sir. So no need to mention his name at all. Nice. Then please come to my college.
Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Yeah.
Yes, yes.